Guys, today we have a 7'3" power forward slash center that not only can shoot from half court, he can get you in the post and fade over you. He can put the ball on the ground and cross you over and get his own shot with step backs. And again, guys, I remind you, this is a 7'3" player, so you know his shot blocking is already elite. He is the 5th leading shot blocker in the NBA right now. The guys that we are talking about, 7'3" Maverick Kristaps Porzingis. Now, recently, Kristaps won Player of the Week, and he had a stretch over 9 games where he actually averaged 26 points, 10 rebounds, 2 blocks, shooting 51%, 38 from 3, and 86% from the free throw line. Guys, Kristaps Porzingis recently has been on the tear. I know Luka Doncic has been injured, but Kristaps has came up, got his game back, and he's just absolutely dominating. Now, this is the same build that I've been rocking with for post scores for a while. In this video, these are the badges that we're using: Lob City Finisher, Drop Stepper, Back Down Punisher, Consistent, Putback, Pro Touch, all this kind of stuff like that, just so we're going to be able to finish around the rim. Now, the shooting badges, if you guys watch the Mavericks play, him and Luka Doncic recently have got that pick and pop game on point. And like I said, Kristaps is killing it from 3. He's shooting very well. So we got Green Machine, volume shooter, because he's getting a lot of shots up now, pick and popper. And guys, like I mentioned, he can shoot from half court just with ease, just pull up from Curry range and splash it. So we already had to put range extender on Hall of Fame. We've got quick first step for our 1 gold badge. And defensively, like I mentioned beforehand, he's the 5th leading shot blocker in the NBA. His defense is amazing down low, so we had to put Intimidator on. Rebound Chaser, of course, so we can get all the rebounds. Now, you guys know how I like to do this. Usually, I like to use all of their animations. Earlier in the year, I showed you guys how dominant this build could be in the post. And today, these are the animations that we actually are going to be using. I'll throw them up on the screen right here. We're using his jump shot, all of his post moves. And like I mentioned beforehand, guys, he can put the ball on the ground and actually cross you over, shoot off dribble shots, get to the paint, all that kind of stuff like that. So the dribble moves that we're going to be using are basically the same that I usually do. But guys, if you do enjoy the video, make sure you drop a like. I think this build is super unique. It's a ton of fun to play with. If you guys want to know the build, go check out the link in the description. The gameplays are insane. But without further ado, we're going to hop into the 7'3", the unicorn, Kristaps Porzingis. All right, guys, so we're back on the 7'3" post score build. All the post score videos you guys have been seeing, but like Taco and Embiid, pretty much any 7'3" post score, 7'6", whatever it is you guys have been seeing, is this build right here. It's my interior force, and I'm telling you guys, you've seen me go on the 2s and ISO with it, even on the 1v1 course, stuff like that. But you guys are going to be amazed here on the 3s how diverse this build actually is when it comes to shooting the basketball, dribbling, dominating down low, pick and roll, pick and pop. You guys will be amazed how good this build actually is. And what made me think about that is how diverse Kristaps has made his game. Like I mentioned beforehand, he can get that pick and pop all day long. Him and Luka have been doing that for the better half of the All-Star break. He can put it on the ground, take you off dribble, hit you with step backs. This dude is 7'3", man, and his control is unreal. Now, a lot of people have been saying that Kristaps was struggling at the beginning of the year. Him and Luka, they just didn't have that chemistry right off the bat, and that makes sense. Kristaps coming off the injury, he's just trying to, get back to feeling more so himself. The year where he seemed like he was breaking out before his injury happened, Kristaps is going off, man. And look, I'm hitting from half court on this build, which is remarkable. Now, if you guys can remember at the beginning of the year when we were talking about Kristaps, I kind of talked a little bit about how he was more so kind of standing on the 3-point line a little bit more than you would like. And to be honest with you, now that I go back and, realize what that was really happening, he's still recovering from his injury. Obviously, if you guys remember in the offseason, Kristaps put on a ton of muscle. In my opinion, he's kind of lost a little bit of it, but he's got the confidence that he needs. So go back in the paint, actually post people up, hit him with fadeaways. If he has a size advantage, he's even dunking on people, stuff like that. And to be honest with you, seeing that has been a ton of fun. You guys can see in this gameplay, man, we're using all of his post score animations. We're using his jump shot, which, if you guys haven't noticed, shot all greens. I love his jump shot for some reason. I low-key might be using that for the rest of the year on this build. But seeing this, guys, and watching the game last night where Kristaps actually struggled, and looking at the power rankings, or not the power rankings, but looking at the Western Conference ratings, the Western Conference is wide open, like 3 through 8, really. It's wide open, and for those 8 seed, there's about 4 teams that could possibly bounce the Grizzlies out, man. I'm gonna put a picture of it right here. You can notice all those like 3 to 7 really are within like 3 or 4 games. So with a handful, like 15 more games left or so, the whole Western Conference is wide open, and that got me thinking too. The Mavericks, I can see the Mavericks anywhere between 4 and 7, And to be honest with you, I know you don't really go out of your way to play certain games certain ways to get certain ratings or whatever the case is, but there are definitely teams out there, I'm telling you, that do not want to see the Dallas Mavericks first round. You can see we're putting the ball on the ground, splitting the defense with a hop step, just beautifully executed. But there are teams out there, guys, that do not want to see this Mavericks team on the floor. Like the Nuggets, for example, I don't think the Nuggets want to see them with Jokic and Kristaps going at it. I just think the whole Mavericks team is just more athletic than the Nuggets, and I don't really see anybody stopping, Luka Doncic out there on the Nuggets team. So that'd be interesting. I know the Clippers don't want to see them, although I think the Clippers would win that series, but that's a series that I feel like they don't want to go out there with. Obviously, the Mavericks have the height advantage out there. But let me know down below in the comment section what you guys think. Who do you want to see the Mavericks play first round of the playoffs, just for an entertaining series? Honestly with you, I think the Nuggets and Mavericks would be very fun to watch. But let's talk a little bit more about Kristaps. If you guys have been watching the NBA, Kristaps at the 5 spot, he has turned his whole game around. Now, I don't want to say this because obviously it's terrible, but after Dwight Powell got injured for the Mavericks, he was kind of that traditional. He was like 6'11", and he was running center, which in the Mavericks offense, they have a lot of pick and roll and kind of, three-point shooting, kind of like the Rockets, but they do more pick and roll, pick and pop type action. And having Dwight Powell down low and just having Kristaps spot up, which we talked a lot about in the beginning of the year, was kind of setting Kristaps' game off, and coming off an injury, he's just becoming a little bit too subtle, and he wasn't getting a lot of post touches. But ever since Dwight Powell got injured and, Kristaps moved over to the 5, he has been dominating. He's been picking his spots on the court, which in my opinion, when you start picking your spots on the court, that's when you become the most lethal. And you guys can see, man, putting the ball on the floor and dribbling. This guy is 7'3". This is another thing. Let me know down below in the comment section, because I get asked this a lot, like on my Zion build or even this build or my Giannis build, is how do I dribble with low ball control? There's certain moves that are out there that are very, very good and effective. Let me know down below in the comment section if you guys would actually like to see that. I know I've been getting asked that a lot, but just let me know down below in the comment section. I'll give you a little bit of a tutorial on how to do certain moves with low ball control. But again, like I said, man, Kristaps coming off the injury, moving to the 5 spot. He got his confidence back up. He's got his post touches, and he's been remarkable from the 3, shooting like 35%. Obviously, it's kind of low for Kristaps, but at the beginning of the year, he was shooting very abysmally, and now he's actually starting to spot up a lot and hit a lot of those shots. With having the whole floor spread for him, he's just able to dominate. And Luka, his injury has been kind of slowing them down a little bit. That's why I was kind of surprised with having the Mavericks at the 7th seed right now. But like I showed you guys beforehand, that whole Western Conference is like wide open. But Luka's been dealing with both hand injuries. They've both missed a handful of games. And I actually saw yesterday, they haven't even spent like half the season together on the floor at the same time. And to be honest, I don't think a lot of people kind of had Kristaps and Luka going far this year. If I went back and looked at ESPN, obviously they were one of the better duos, but they're kind of predicting them in a couple of years to really take off. I didn't really expect them to be, in my opinion, to kind of go off like the way they are right now. I didn't see Kristaps coming this good. I thought it would take him like a whole season, but he's just able to dominate again. You can see this guy's got rim protector takeover, so I did the smart thing, didn't go up, and actually got the ball back. But look, man, this build is lethal. I'll have a little card right here if you guys want to see the full build. I think it's really effective. You can see, man, I'm just going to work on this guy down low in the paint, just dominating with post fades. I'm going in, catching lobs, throwing it down. The thing you guys will notice about this build, it only has like a 39 driving dunk, but I think in the beginning of the year, I might have tendencies on this build. I can't lie to you, but the build with tendencies is lethal. You can see I get driving dunks pretty much every single time I go in the paint, and I've just been dominating right here. But when it comes to the Mavericks and how they will, kind of go off in the playoffs and the way they're kind of struggling, they're going to have that third scoring option, either Seth Curry, Finney Smith, Tim Hardaway Jr. Those kind of guys need to have a collective like 30, 40 points. To be honest with you, I think if they do that, that team's going to be scary. They have a lot of good, scoring options, but they don't have that third guy that they can kind of lean on. That's, that wing type of player. Lately, it's been Tim Hardaway Jr., but I don't really know if he's going to be that consistent. And I've actually seen, too, that in the fourth quarter, Kristaps and Luka Doncic, they're not in the leading, like, top 10 on the leading in like points in the fourth quarter. And that goes to show you, man, they're like 6 and 17. I think I was watching the Mavericks game yesterday and they said this. You can see another green right there. But they're 6 and 17 in clutch time. And that just goes to show you, man, Luka Doncic, Kristaps Porzingis, they're not getting shut down, I wouldn't say, because, you know, Luka's had some clutch games, but they're not scoring as many points in the fourth quarter. And that makes sense because they don't have the best record in the fourth quarter, and they don't have anybody scoring up there, like I said, in the fourth quarter. So they're going to have guys step up in the clutch time. I can obviously see Kristaps and Luka do that again. You guys are just watching these gameplays, me dominating down low. It's remarkable. But let me know down below in the comment section where you guys think the Mavericks will end off this season. Do you think they'll get past the first round? Do you think somebody's going to step up? Do you think Kristaps and Luka are going to have good playoffs? I think it's going to be crazy. But this last game right here, I want to show you guys this. We really weren't playing the best defense. I'm not going to lie to you. I probably should have stole that. But you can see I'm having a pretty solid game. But this guy has sharpshooting takeover. You already know what time it is, man. You got to give it to the scorer. The fourth quarter clutch time right here. I'm going to set my boy Kajani a screen. Doesn't really hit. He's kind of reaching, so I'm going to let him have a little bit of his own space. I'm going to, you know, hover out like Kristaps does every so often. Catch the ball in the three. Splash. For the game, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Let me know down below in the comment section any other NBA players you guys would like to see. But it's been your boy Dignify, and I'm out. Peace.